Alright, it's Barry, and today I'm going to show you my new version 2 DIY hydroponic system. It solves a couple of problems with the original one, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out, so let's have a look. So here we are at the tent, and as you can see, I've got a couple of really nice plants growing in here. I've got some cucumbers at the back. They've started flowering this week. Really pleased with how they are getting on. At the front here, you can see I have a tomato plant, just a normal cherry tomato. And then we've also got these peppers as well, just your standard sweet pepper, nothing spicy on this occasion. But if you just have a quick closer look at these cucumbers at the back, you can see that there has been a bit of an issue really with nutrients at first. I did change the nutrients that I've been putting in them just to help with it, but they have recovered really nicely, and the new leaves are all really nice and green. Just having a look at the light up at the top as well while we're here. Got the Spider Farmer lamp, it's what I've been using for years. And then just all the way up at the top, I've got some extra supplementary LEDs, just giving us a bit of extra red and blue, being the main frequencies that we are using for photosynthesis with these plants. So just to give them a bit of fill, because they normally grow up beyond what this light, like the maximum height for it. So I've added these extra lights onto the top just to make sure that they are also still getting some light once they do get so tall. I don't have any cucumbers just yet. I've been keeping an eye out for them. But we do have all the flowers starting to turn up. I think we've mostly got male flowers at the start. But expecting maybe they'll turn up in the next couple of days. Once we start getting the male flowers, the female flowers aren't normally too far behind. And I do believe that this is a self-fertile variety, so we shouldn't have any issues with not having any creatures in here to do the pollination. So hopefully everything should turn out nicely. And as you can see, the plants are grabbing onto this string, pulling the main stems up towards the string, keeping them nice and straight. And if I just go back to the pepper plant, we can just have a little look underneath here. I think we've got a flower and it does have a pepper developing on it. And just looking at the airflow setup I've got here, I've added these little regulator valves on. These have made it much easier to control the amount of airflow going to the stones, because before I had to like bend the pipes and stuff. But now I've got these little taps, and I can balance the airflow going to each tank separately. And that is all running from this standard aquarium air pump. It's got 2 outlets on it and these non-return valves, just so it doesn't suck water in if it starts to siphon the water back out of the pumps. So this is effectively a bigger version of the DIY hydroponics tub that I set up on a video. Maybe you've seen that one before. Do check it out if you haven't already. But it's effectively a massive version of that with loads of extra holes in it. I substituted the tub on the bottom for buckets, but as you can see, because it's transparent, I'm having a bit of an issue with algae, so the light can get through. There's loads of nutrients in there, so we end up with all of this algae building up, and they're just taking all the nutrients away. They're not good for the water, they're not good for the plants, and they are getting a bit out of hand. So I've been trying to think of a way that I can improve this setup, but effectively we need to block the light out. That's the main thing. So I want to block the light out because we've not got this transparent lid letting all this algae develop, and in some way control what is the water environment a bit more. When I'm looking at these leaves, like I said before, we did have a bit of an issue with the nutrient imbalances earlier on, but since I've changed to this new nutrient, I'll just put it as the algae really likes it as well. So the algae is getting all the nitrogen, it's just going absolutely crazy and covering all the roots, covering all the inside of the tub. Not ideal. So the first thing that I am going to do with this is take out all the plants. Obviously, don't want them in the way. And as you can see when I'm taking these out, like the algae that's all over the roots, it's just everywhere. So I can't wait to get rid of them. Get the pepper plant out next. The root's quite nice on that, actually. Just have a look at those. And I think I'll just get rid of these lines now, just to get them out of the way. Right, they are out of the way now, so the next thing I need to do is get these massive cucumbers out, and they have quite a large amount of roots in the bottom of here, so I think this might be a bit tricky, or hopefully they might just come out and not cause too much damage, because that's the main thing. If I start damaging the roots, it's going to make it a bit more difficult for the plants to recover from it. So if I squeeze them in like underneath, I think they might just come out in a big lump. Oh yeah, they're coming out quite easily, actually. It's quite strange, actually, when I get these roots out here, they really smell like cucumbers, even though there's no fruit on it or anything yet. The roots, like, really stink cucumber. Yeah, they smell quite good, actually. Oh yeah, you can see on that one, that's actually got quite a bit of algae. I'll just get this one over here as well. And then they are all out of there. I think this is the bigger one of the three. So this might be the most challenging. Yeah, that's coming out not too bad as well. There we go. So that is all three of them out. As you can see, that does have the biggest root mass. And all I've got to do now is get this old lid out the way. So the plants are tied up. So I think if I just move the roots to the back, they'll be supported enough to just pull the lid out. It's not going to do them any damage because these aren't that heavy at the bottom. So it's not going to be like a big problem that they're hanging for a couple of minutes. So I'll stick them over there and then this should slide straight out. There we go. And these are 10-litre bins from IKEA. I'll show you the label. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but they cost me like £1 or £1.50. 10-litre bin, really good for this purpose. And the problem is they don't have a lid. So I designed a lid. This is in the Tinkercad, free online software for 3D design. Measured everything up and came up with this plan after a couple of different versions. So we've got a lid and a frame and then a small cap for filling it in. Got them on 3D printer, printed everything off, and this is what we end up with. So as you can see with this, what I had to do was split it into quarters, basically. The whole thing in one piece wouldn't fit on the print bed, so I had to make all these quarters of it. But it's really straightforward. All I've got to do is screw them together. I put holes and like little supports and everything on there just to make sure that everything is solid once they are put together. This is what it kind of looks like once I've got everything screwed together. Put 2 screws in the sort of cross braces and then a bigger, like an M4 screw at the back there. And that is just holding everything together and making sure that it is really nice and strong and sturdy once it's assembled. So it was M4 screws for the back, and then I was using M2 screws in these other sections. So I'll get all of this assembled, and then we will be ready to move on to the next bit. So there we go, that is all screwed together in one piece. All that we need to do now is add the panels to it that are going to form the lid. These are also printed in quarters. As you can see, we've got the pattern underneath as well to save on time and plastic. And when I look at the top of this here, I've got 2 holes in this one. One of them I'm not using just yet, but I've also got the smaller hole, which is for our airline to go through. And then it's got these small sort of plugs on there, and they fit into the holes on the lid pretty much exactly. So it takes a bit of wiggling just to get into the right position. They only line up in one way. So once they are in the right place, they all click into place and it makes a nice solid lid. So I've got 4 of these all together. And then I've got this final one with the big hole in it. That is for adding water, adding nutrients, testing EC, whatever I need to do. And the good thing is I can just print off new ones of these. If I change my mind, I can just make a new quarter and add that to it. So maybe if I want to add some extra meters and sensors and things like that, I can just stick them into the design on the 3D model, print a new quarter and not have to remake the whole thing. So as you can see, sticking these together, lining up those little plugs with the holes, and they snap into place. The slice in the quarters is slightly out of line, so these do only fit in one sort of position. So you can't like put the wrong pieces in the wrong place or anything. They've got to go into the right section for it to all line up, so you can tell if you're putting them into the right place. But it's quite satisfying when they snap together because, like I said, it is all really sort of accurately printed and designed so that everything fits together really tightly and everything's dead solid once it's all put together. So there we go. We have a lid perfectly sized for our buckets, and it is also functional in that we can do our feeding. It's going to hold our net pot in the middle. We can put our airline through it, and it's mainly really cheap. Okay, so we're ready to add it to our system. I'm not going to be replacing this water at the moment. Even though we've got this algae, I'm just going to put it on here now for the purpose of doing this because it's just another whole entire job that I can't be bothered doing while I'm trying to do this. So for this purposes, I want to get these on straight away and then I can worry about the water later. I'm going to be dosing them with the hydrogen peroxide anyway, so that's not going to be an issue. Okay, so they just click straight onto the top. They are perfectly sized so that they sort of snap onto the top of the bucket. Once that is on, it is solid. Right, next job. Let's get this plant back in. I This is going to be a bit harder than getting them out, but I think with them being in a big lump like this, they might actually just go straight in. I think the pepper plant might be a bit harder, but I think because these are quite soft, I think these will just go straight in. So let's get that through there without causing any damage. There we go. And you can see it there. That fits in perfectly. I really like that. Let's get rid of this leaf while I'm doing this, actually. Get rid of these sweaty leaves so that they're not causing any problems further down the line. You still see the algae on top of that, actually. There's quite a bit of algae there. But that's not bothering me. It's not in the water, so I don't really care about that on top. And now I've just got to get rid of all of the rest of them, get all them lids on, and we'll be ready to go. This was the original one that I did, actually, so the hole in the middle was slightly too small. So this one sits a little bit higher up, but I'll use this for the pepper anyway, because it doesn't really matter. It's perfectly fine with this one. I just decided to fix it for the rest of them. This one was a bit more out of line as well. That's why I've got to try and twist this one round. But once they're all on, that is ready to go. All I've got to do now is get my airline in, just a standard small air stone on the bottom, get that air pipe through that hole there, and then just pull it through until it is the right depth. And then when I stick this on, it should be much neater solution to how they were before, sort of draped around everywhere. There we go. There we go, and that's done. So now we have our airline going through and everything. So we'll connect the airline back up to our regulator. There we go. These can be a bit difficult to get on. I think this one's going to be okay though. And there it is. We have our oxygen going into our water, keeping everything nice and oxygenated, keeping our water moving. And then we have a lid. There we go. And these are the air stones just on the bottom. They're just little cheap ones. I think there was 3 for £1.50 on Amazon. I'll put a link for them if you need them as well. There we go. And that just snaps back in there as quick as that. I'm sorry, just knocked that one over. It's hard doing this one-handed, actually. There we go. Click, click. And then that one's done as well. Ready to go. Look how good that is. And you can also just give it a push down until you get to the bottom of it. And it's also holding that in place as well, so they're not sort of floating up to the top or anything as well. So it's keeping everything where it should be. And I put the tomato plant back in there. I'll give it a bit of support as well, just while it's being disturbed, just to make sure it's not falling over. There we are. Oh, that just looks so good. Yeah, really happy with how that's turned out. And for, I think it's around about 100 grams of filament for all of that. So I could print 10 of those for £10 worth of 3D printing filament. So it's quite a cheap job as well. And this empty space is going to be for another video that I'm going to be putting on in the near future. It's one that I'm really looking forward to doing. So do keep an eye out for that one when it turns up. Really pleased with how this has turned out, and I'm going to be upgrading it and doing a lot more to it in future as I sort of get round to it and come up with ideas.